This is the KRON 4 Morning News.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our second live hour of KRON 4 News Weekend. Marty Gonzalez is off this morning. And we are back at 8:43. Now, this is a segment for those of you who are already thinking about getting back into shape, of course, after the New Year's with those resolutions, once you've had all of those heavy holiday meals and rich desserts. Now, the resolution is supported by a slew of diet and weight loss books that flood the bookstores. But one author claims his ideas are different, that it's not a book about weight loss, and it's more about lifestyle. Here to talk about is Dr. Michael Sardone. He's written the book called The Naked Truth, Overweight, Overwhelmed, and Confused. Welcome. Nice to have you here.
Good morning.
First off, you're not a medical doctor.
Correct. My practice is specializing in functional medicine.
Okay.
It's pretty much looking at underneath the waterline at the iceberg. Instead of focusing on the tip, where all the symptoms are. So if you have high blood pressure, you're prescribed a diuretic. If you have high cholesterol, you're prescribed a statin medication. I focus below and take a look at what's causing those symptoms. And as far as obesity and overweight in this country, what's causing it is poor lifestyle. And that's where I focus.
Okay.
We need to change the focus from weight loss to becoming healthy and fit.
So your emphasis is on nutrition, health, and fitness. We've done plenty of shows around that. We've interviewed plenty of people around that, and yet the obesity continues to climb in this country, and it's getting worse because it's now children.
Correct. Absolutely.
So what is the issue here with that?
Well, I think people have lost control. What I mean by that is, if you eat processed foods, if you eat fast foods, you're relying on these companies to manipulate their products for you. You're relying on the ingredients they choose. You're not in control. If you take medications for symptoms, you're relying on the pharmaceutical companies to give you the correct medication to manage your symptoms. You're not taking control of your health by focusing on lifestyle behaviors. You're not looking at your diet. You're not looking at your exercise, your sedentary lifestyle.
Okay. Well, you have a bunch of questions in the back of your book, and the first are pretty easy to answer. Am I happy with what I see? Most folks would say no. Do I look healthy? Well, some folks would say, well, I'm not looking so good. Do I feel healthy? But this one, I'm tired of living in denial, because if you say, yes, I am, then you have to do something about it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. A person once told me, the reason why I'm not coming to see you in your practice is because then you'll take away my excuses. Because right now, I don't know what to do.
Right.
But as soon as you give me a solution, then I have to implement it.
Right.
And that's the key. And that's what I provide. I mean, I've been in the trenches with my patients for the last 15 years. I've listened to them. I've observed them. You know, I've seen their relation when things are going well, and I've seen their tears when things aren't going well. So I've learned from them as much as they've learned from me. And I've put together a lifestyle program that I believe is completely different than what's being offered today.
So let's talk about it.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Tell me, give me the five steps.
Well, actually, basically, you know, a lot of doctors will tell their patients, listen, you're overweight, you need to lose weight. So the thought pattern is, well, I need to lose weight, and that's where they focus. So they'll try anything. They'll gravitate for the gimmicks, the fast weight loss programs, and that will actually sabotage their success.
Because?
Because they will lose muscle mass and water instead of body fat. And muscle burns fat for fuel. So you're giving up the very tissue that burns fat, and that causes your metabolism to slow down, and that causes you to regain all the weight you've lost.
Okay.
And it's not as simple as just telling somebody to eat right.
Right.
What does that mean?
So what do you start out with? How do you get them on the going towards the right path?
Well, the first thing we have to do is determine what their risks are, what their markers are for disease. And one of the main things is to look at their body fat percentage versus their BMI, their body mass index. There's a big difference. And we take a look at their fat distribution. Where is their fat? Is it around their abdominal region, their thighs, their arms? Fat distribution plays a big role in risk for heart disease, diabetes, and various cancers. So if you take your height in inches, divide it by 2, and if your waist is equal to that or greater, that's a red flag. So we start with their body composition, then design a program specifically for them. And in the book, what I've done is I've generalized it, but yet it's still specific, because people can follow the principles, design a well-balanced diet for themselves, supplementation based on profiling their body type, and exercise as well.
We've got 30 seconds. In all of this, what would you tell people in order to be able to stay on this change in lifestyle, this change in the way of being? What's the key to that?
Educate themselves. Get knowledge. Knowledge is powerful, empowers you to make smart choices. Learn what eating right is all about and how to exercise correctly, because there's also fad exercising. So if you put it together, the right, well-balanced diet for yourself, supplementation and exercise, focus on becoming healthy and not weight loss, you'll have greater chance for success.
All right, thanks, Dr. Michael Sardone.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. The book is called The Naked Truth. Overweight, overwhelmed, and confused, which we all are, but here's a chance to start trying to do it different. Thank you, and let's go out to Henry.